What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, the Mad Wolf, doing another figure review, this time on the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Human Torch. I really want to make a Hasbro Marvel Legends Fantastic Four collection. I already have the Invisible Woman, so I've been very excited to get my hands on this figure. On the front of the box, we have the figure clearly displayed along with his accessories. On the top of the box, we have the number 4. On the left side of the box, we get some promotional art. On the right side, we get the same art. And on the back of the box, we get a promotional image of the figure as well as a description. If you want to go ahead and read the description, just pause the video now. Alright, that was taking a look at the box. Now let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. Here he is, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and yes, they are reusing the Bucky Cap mold once again. Hasbro is notorious for using that mold. However, I do think it works for this figure, and they have given some new sculpt for the arms, the head, and the boots of the figure, and I think it looks really great. It's made of a translucent orange plastic, so if you put it in the light sometimes, you will see some of the joints on the inside, but I don't think that's a pretty big deal, honestly. Taking a closer look, you can see that the orange flames go into a nice matte yellow, especially on the arms and the head. This is a separate piece. I'll show that in the accessories. It just fits nice and snug onto his back, and as you can see, it doesn't fall off. His head is actually probably one of my favorite parts about the figure. It's a very nice bright yellow or yellowish orange that goes into a matte yellow flame. Hands, arms look very nice. And I know what some people are thinking, oh, why is his head so bright and yellowish orange than the rest of his body? And the reason for that, I noticed, and I really like that Hasbro did this actually, is because they're paying attention to the colors of the actual Fantastic Four costume. And what I mean by that is you'll notice that here there's some blues, there's some blacks, and the areas that are black are a much darker orange than the rest of the Human Torch body. So think of it like this. His head isn't wearing a mask. It's not wearing any cloth on top of it. So of course it would be brighter. We're seeing his skin lit on fire instead of the clothing. So I think it makes sense for his head to be a much brighter yellowish orange than the rest of his sculpt. That's just my opinion. I really like how it looks, honestly, guys. So if you don't like it, that's up to you. But I personally really like it. I think it's a good thing that they did that, actually. And I'm just going to get the articulation out the way. It is the Bucky Cap mold. I'm just going to take this off. It doesn't hinder the articulation, but I just want to remove it. So it is the Bucky Cap mold. We've already gotten familiar with this articulation, but he can look about that far up, which is great for flying poses. About that far down if you want him looking down at Dr. Doom. His head can go left and right, and yes, it can rotate 360 degrees. It cannot pivot. His arms go about that far up, and they rotate 360 degrees. He does have a bicep swivel, double joint elbow, wrist articulation for his hands to go in and out. He does have an ab crunch, and he leans about that far back. He does have waist articulation. His legs go about that far forward and about that far back. He does have an upper thigh swivel, double joint knee, and a boot swivel, as well as toe articulation and ankle pivot, which is always great. All right, that was taking a look at Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. Now let's take a look at the accessories that come with this figure. As soon as I can get him to stand. Come on, get him. There we go. Looking at the accessories, you'll notice he doesn't come... Looking at the accessories, you'll notice he doesn't come with too much, but honestly, I don't think that's a disappointment at all. He is the Human Torch, and it's not like he's going to have some crazy rifle gun or crazy laser katana, nothing like that. He's the Human Torch. He uses his powers and fireballs, so I really think he came with what he needed. He comes with 2 pairs of hands. The first pair comes on the figure in the box. We get an open palm hand, nice flame effect. And yes, these are hinged. And then the other hand is a fist, again with the flame effect, looking very nice. And then the other pair of hands is a pair of fists, and the reason we get these, you'll notice they don't have flame effects. And the reason for that is to use these with these fireball effects. So I guess technically they do have flame effects, but these fireballs are reused from the Iron Fist figure. They're just slightly repainted. I do think they look very nice though. Very appropriate for a Human Torch figure. And all you would want to do if you want to use this with the figure is, you'll notice there's a gap here. Just take the fist, the flameless fist, and just stick it inside there. And that would just stay snug. It doesn't drop. It's very tight fit, which I think is very good. And it'll look like he's got a fireball effect on his arm. So I think that is really cool. It works great for a Human Torch figure. I think it works more for the Human Torch than Iron Fist. And then we get the flame effect that goes on to Johnny's back. And this looks very nice as well. It goes from a translucent orange at the bottom to a nice matte yellow at the top. I do wish, however, that it had a peg in the middle here, so that way we had the option to make these flames face downwards. So that, I think that would have been more appropriate for flying poses. But it is what it is. It still looks very nice, and it does fit nice and snug onto the figure. No worrying about dropping it. All right, that was looking at the accessories, guys. Now on to my final thoughts. This is a short review. Comparing him. For size comparison, here he is next to some of his fellow Marvel legends. We have his sister, the Invisible Woman, and who I believe is his best bud, Spider-Man. And for more comparisons, here he is next to the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Goku and the Mezco Shadowland Daredevil. And for my last size comparison, his superpowered counterpart from the X-Men, the Marvel Legends Iceman, which does reuse the Spider-Man mold. And I just really wanted to put these 2 characters side by side, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. All right, on to my final thoughts. My final thoughts, I think this is a great Human Torch figure. Sure, they're reusing the Bucky Cat mold, but I think it really works for this figure. And sure, he comes with very little accessories, but he comes with what he needs. He stands out beautifully on the Marvel Legends shelf, and I am just very excited to finally have another addition to the Fantastic Four line. Very much looking forward to the Mr. Fantastic figure, so look forward to that review, guys. And that's pretty much all I gotta say. I'm very happy with this figure, and I highly recommend it. Alright guys, if you like this video, like and subscribe, join the Wolf Pack. I hope you all have a great day. Peace. To complete my Hasbro Fantastic Four collection, and I'm just really excited to review this figure. I'm just really